Hey everybody, my name is Russell Frost from What Drives Us, and welcome to my look inside the 2017 Toyota Avalon Hybrid Limited. If you're not familiar with the Avalon, it's the largest, most luxurious Toyota sedan in the line. It's colloquially known as your grandparents' car. It is essentially a Toyota badged Lexus ES300H. Yes, there are differences between the two vehicles, but other than that nameplate, the contrasts are mostly trivial. The Avalon Hybrid starts a few grand cheaper than the Lexus, but I suspect that's mostly marketing. This particular vehicle has a sticker price of $44,038. The Avalon is slightly larger than the Camry. Slightly, literally a half-inch wider and about 4 inches longer. It feels larger inside, though, and maybe that's just me. The inside of the Avalon is cavernous by Toyota standards, especially when sitting in the back seat of one. You really appreciate how big this interior is. The thing that is odd about this car, for me, is that technology is the basis of the vehicle, but it's not really apparent. And by that I mean it's a hybrid with analog gauges. It has the full Toyota Safety Sense suite of features, but the controls are nearly invisible. The touchscreen is small and, given the standards of the day, less responsive than typical. The capacitive controls on the main instrument panel are easy to misapply. Here, in the video, you see me accidentally turning off the AC, I did it a few times, while trying to work the nav settings. The placement of some controls seems much more for Toyota's convenience than any possible need for the driver. I mean, why are all these switches down here by my left knee? Well, I suppose it's because they had the space, but it's a ridiculous location. Key charging is fantastic, assuming you have a key-capable device. The USB and aux jacks are discreetly located, but it's tough to get an adult hand in this space and plug things in. The phone well is slippery, and my phone tended to slide out and onto the floor during some turns. Very oddly, the hybrid system, which, as I reported in our review of the 4th generation Prius and Prius Prime, is the smoothest and quietest ever. However, this Avalon has the 3rd generation system, which was still very, very quiet and almost unnoticeable when it came on. However, in Avalon, when the HSD fires the ICE engine up, it gives a noticeable shudder, and you can hear the gas motor running. The one thing that annoys me about Avalon is the almost pathological obsession with hiding its technology under a facade of analog gauges and hidden switches. That's not luxurious, it's simply inconvenient. The nav is the standard annoying Toyota nav. It's annoying because it's not as good by any measure as something like Waze. Even though the nav is built into the vehicle, things like adjusting the volume on the prompts is impossible to figure out without resorting to the owner's manual. The multi-information display is less than helpful for me. Things like regen aren't especially clear on the analog gauge as it might be on a digital with more flexibility. The JBL audio system is decent, but not outstanding in any way unless a boomy digital amp and a disappearing mid-range with screechy top end appeal to you, which I'm sure for many it will appeal to them. It's obviously designed for the mainstream ears, not so much for me. So though this vehicle may be full of walking contradictions, there's a lot of good in it. The ride is smooth, and while it's no doubt so soft that things like train tracks will surprise you, it handles well, and it isn't mushy. The car accelerates very well. The MPG is impressive. Driving badly yields returns in the mid-30s. Driving more intelligently easily gets you into the low 40s. The Avalon Hybrid is EPA rated at 4039, that's city and highway. Speaking of gas, regular gas, not premium. The seats are comfortable, and the back seating is, by any estimation, spacious. The Avalon is quiet, pleasantly very quiet. It seems as though Toyota is realizing the value in making the interior spaces of their vehicles resistant to outside and even drivetrain noise. The backup camera is nice and bright with helpful lines to show you where you're going. So, in general, I use a different standard when evaluating a luxury car versus a standard one. It's rather like how you can't compare a 4-star hotel to a 2-star one. They just have different goals. This Avalon should be the very best thing that Toyota can produce, not simply a slightly nicer and larger Camry. We know what the best they can do is. We simply have to go look at a Lexus, and here's where Avalon pales a bit. Now, I know, at the beginning of this, I just said I wasn't going to compare it to things that it shouldn't be compared to. I'm trying not to contradict myself here, but Avalon's in a weird position in the vehicle lineup. It's an almost Lexus. Now, with that being said, this is a very nice car. It's efficient, it's comfortable, it's damn comfortable. It's packed with technology, even if some of it's a bit more opaque than it needs to be. It's nimble in city traffic, and as soon as you start up the freeway on-ramp, you see what this vehicle was designed for: the open road. It's like a dog straining at a leash. The Avalon wants to be on the freeway, and the relaxing experience the Avalon delivers pretty much nullifies the rest of it. This is the car I want to take on a 5,000-mile drive. It would be my friend on the road, not my enemy, punishing me for my seat time. When I drove the first iteration of the Avalon in 2012, I fell in love. I thought Toyota's redesign of the vehicle was cogent and impressive. I thought the performance was exceptional in every way. This newest version, well, it took me a little while to warm up to it. Aside from most of the trivial issues I've talked about here, in the context of vehicles made today, it's simply not as impressive as it was 5 years ago. It's a vehicle of contradictions, a vehicle out of time. All that said, it's still an exceptional car that is a pleasure to drive and offers what might be the best collection of safety and technology features one can find in a sedan of this size around this price. Do make a point to drive an Avalon. It's not your grandparents' car, not anymore. In many ways, it's a very American car, harkening back to the great cruising sedans of the old days, but with reliability and safety and the efficiency of a modern car. And that is definitely saying something. Thanks very much for watching this review. You can see us at whatdrives.us. All of our archives of our weekly shows and all of our car reviews are there. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Follow us on Twitter at whatdrivesus. We would love to chat with you, and we would love to have you as a viewer.